a lot of people out there. Hello, everybody! Oh, no, come on. I know that it's just gone 1:30 in the afternoon, but we can do better than that. Hello, everybody! There we go. That's what I like to hear. Just one wee quick announcement, folks, is that I've been saying this throughout the day. If anybody's getting some lovely photos, feel free to share them on the Capital Sci-Fi Con Facebook page and on Instagram. If anybody gets some lovely photos of myself, if you could tag me on Instagram at the Gorman, I would really appreciate that. But please, everybody, I know that look, you all set started for this one. You're going to be my absolute favourite during this panel, so I need you to lead the crowd on this one. The stage needed a pop of colour, and there it appeared. Should we interview the tree? We can easily do the real. No, that's a fake tree, I believe. You see, I'm telling you, the convention couldn't even fork out for a real tree. They had to go for a fake tree. I don't know what is going on here. But you're both here. That's the important thing. Yeah. You're both here. Yeah. Hopefully the rest of the weekend will improve. You will not go anywhere near super glue. I think everything will be all set. There we go. Look, is that a nod of yes, I will not go near it, or yes, I will?
It was so much fun there. So I would go off to Florida for the weekend, and we had to fly back on Sunday night, and I'd be back into rehearsal. So
it's a tough life.
It was a tough life. It was tough because you're going to Florida, but you don't see anything of Florida, of course, because you don't actually ever leave the airport, because you're staying in a hotel at the airport where the convention is. And then you get straight back on a plane, so you may as well have been, I don't know, in any airport anywhere in the world.
Yeah. There's one of the medical team who helped with my eye earlier. Thank you.
So that it's not just about the people on the stage, it's about the people who help the people on the stage as well. They are also very important. Now, obviously, Doctor Who is a very big show since its revival in 2005. But obviously, many a fan, we've been reintroduced to your amazing characters since the reintroduction. What's it been like going to convention and seeing all these amazing fans of the Fifth Doctor? What has it been like for you?
Surprising.
Yeah, because he's rubbish.
Surprising. Yeah.
Surprising. In a good way, I hope.
That would be a fair comment, yes. Surprising, but it's very nice, very gratifying. Yeah, you come along here if your self-esteem is a bit low, and everyone tells you, "Oh, you were great," and so it's wonderful. And what is amazing is that while there are wonderful old fans here who will watch me when I was the Doctor, we also have young people here who've actually gone back and watched the classic Doctors, and wanted to come along and see us. So that's terrific.
And gentlemen, for yourself.
Well, we go back so far that we have second and third generation fans. Dad or Mum was a fan back in the 80s, and then they've had kids, and then those kids have had kids.
It's slightly worrying when you hear those stories, isn't it? Because the first thing you think is, these kids have been brainwashed.
They never had a chance.
Never had a chance.
But I mean, out of all the shows to be brainwashed to, I think Doctor Who has the one of the most positive messages out.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It is. It's a personal thing for me. Is that watching Doctor Who, both the classic series and New Who, is that message of positivity and hope and kindness are very important things.
Sure.
And I think especially in today's days where it does seem very dour, to have that positivity there. Have you had many reactions from fans where where watching Doctor Who has been such a huge positive influence in their lives?
I think it's helped a lot of people. I mean, I can only go with what the people themselves tell you. But many people have said, Doctor Who came along at a very difficult time in my life for whatever reason, and it helped me through it. And it is remarkable the number of people who have been fans of Doctor Who and who are now in the business somewhere. Not always obvious. I'm not talking about necessarily the Russell T. Davisons, but many other celebrities,
sound engineers and special effects people. And people who are doing, makeup and things like that. And Peter's right. People will tell you you know, in my adolescence or whatever, or when I was a kid and I was having a really tough time, Doctor Who was the world that I could escape into.
Yeah.
And how important that was.
Yeah.
And how important other Doctor Who fans were to them.
Very much, yes.
And that was interesting. You know, when Peter, I'm going to say something nice about him.
No.
Anyway, Peter, when I was ill, came down and said, "What can I do to help?" And I said, "Well, I figured, you know, you could help me with my charity fundraising for the charity I had at the time, which was a youth arts charity, and trying to save a building." And anyway, friends of mine would drive me to the functions that Peter helped organise, and they were always really impressed by how nice the fans were to each other and how supportive they were of each other. And I know sometimes it can get a little bit naggy, but most of the time it's really, really positive.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah, you do sometimes get a fan argument of who was the better doctor or who was the better companion or the interior of the TARDIS and all that.
They argue about who was the best companion.
They do.
Surely not.
Surely not.
Surely, yes. It does happen from time to time. I have seen many a fight break out on who had the better design of sonic screwdriver. It is ridiculous. We do get into the nitty gritties.
Now listen, my two heroes are Lucy and Charlie Brown and Miss Piggy. So, you know, don't push your luck.
I'm so glad I'm sitting this far away if those are your heroes.
That's why I'm in the middle.
We have many more regenerations to go. I'm on my last. I can't be doing anything like that to endanger myself. The whole thing with Doctor Who is you can go back to any previous doctors, first all the way up to, you know, Christopher Eccleston when he took over, and that David fella, I think he's working somewhere or another, I suppose.
Is he Scottish?
I've been told he
He
is.
claims to be Scottish.
Peter, read the room. Read the room. That's all I'm going to say. Read the room. There is many. I mean, we can see we've got our lovely Glasgow TARDIS over there. We have a lovely Jodie Whittaker, 14th Doctor, 13th. I was one off. I apologise for that. It was that David fella again. He just couldn't get enough of the show and had to come back again because he's just so greedy. He keeps breaking. Does he keep breaking into the set? Is that something that David is
Breaking into the set.
breaking into the set, just appearing every once
I
in a
think his
while?
whole entire house is a TARDIS. He lives in a little fantasy world. Because he's, you know, he's. I do remember one conversation when I said to him, "Are you going to come back? When you're going to come back? Are you coming back as the 10th Doctor?" He said, "No, definitely, Porter, definitely. There's no question he would be 2 Doctors. There'd be the 10th and the 14th." He was passionate with Doctor Who fans, so you know, he made him an offer he could not refuse.
Well, if you had the opportunity to come back as a completely different doctor and reset the rules, you're going to take somebody's arm completely off for that opportunity.
Yeah.
When I was an agent, I went up to the RSC for the opening night of As You Like It, because my client, Liam Cunningham, was playing Orlando. And he said, and David Tennant was playing Jack Reese. And he said, "You've got to come and meet him because he's got your photo on our dressing room wall."
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah, this guy is weird.
But in such a good way.
He's a good weird, and more than anything else, I'm glad he's not too much in your life, because that would be so
As well as Doctor, you've obviously returned during Jodie Whittaker's tenure. How was one fan out there for that? Lovely. How did it feel returning to your character after so
Scary.
Really?
Well, because it was 35 years since I'd been in front of a camera. I hadn't had to learn lines. I mean, I was doing Big Finish, but you don't learn lines for Big Finish. And
Don't tell them that.
and acting in front of a camera is like you know how you feel when you're learning to drive a car and you think I'll never be able to look at my rear vision mirror and look at the side mirror and steer the car and change gears. I'll never be able to do all those things. Well, acting's a bit like that, you know. I'll never be able to will I be able to do what I used to do, which is move to the mark and, you know, remember my lines and do anything I need to do with a prop and follow the direction, and it was all a bit like that.
Oh, that. I was going to say something mean then. But
Yeah, I know.
I stopped myself. You're right, actually. That's very true.
Yeah.
And just like that, a 1,000-piece jigsaw just fell into place. Absolutely perfect. We are going to open it up to everybody in just a second. If anybody does have a question, if you could just raise your hand, and once I call on you, if you could just, not yet. I love how eager you are, but not yet. Once Foggy up, if you could just come up to the microphone here and speak nice and clearly into the microphone so everybody can hear you. And because you two were so giddy, I'll start just over here with yourself and then I'll get yourself, okay? So if you, please, yes, if you just want to come up to the microphone, just give us your name and then your question, please.
Hi, my name is Sabrina.
Hi, Sabrina.
Hi, Sabrina.
Thanks for being here. I was just wondering if you could work with a doctor that you haven't worked with before, who would you choose?
I've got my answer. John Hurt.
I'm going to ask that.
Oh, good choice. It is a shame that John Hurt was only one and done. That was a great shame, but
I'll ask him tomorrow.
he was
It's a bit
so good.
sidestepping the
Ask
answer,
him
though,
tomorrow.
isn't it? Because John Hurt, I mean,
I'm going to ask him tomorrow.
he was the war
Give your answer. Just give your answer. Don't criticise my answer. Just get on and do your
It's no fun if
answer.
I can't criticise your answer. I work with Patrick Trout and John Purley, and so I would say probably William Hartnell, actually, because William Hartnell, before he was
Oh,
the
that's
doctor,
sidestepping the answer.
he started the series, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, you're saying that John Hurt wasn't established?
No, I'm saying as the doctor was not established, he was brought in for that special.
The banter's free, by the way. This is
Can we just fight? Can we just make it physical? Just fight each other. I think that's the best chance I have. I'm actually physical.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that if I were you.
Actually, she has already beaten me up this morning. I was physically assaulted at the autograph table by Janet.
You were assaulted?
So, yeah, I was physically assaulted, yeah. Now, I may bring charges. It's true, isn't it? Come on, you've got to admit, you hit me several times.
I was provoked.
Now, Peter, you do have to remember that her eyes were glued, so she didn't know it was you.
Yes, I
Fair enough, all right.
Yeah, William Hartnell, because I used to watch him in lots of films, post-war films, which he was always a very good supporting actor in. And so it'd be nice to work with him.
There we go. I hope that answers your question. There we go.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next up, one with this gentleman here. Yeah, there we go. So once again, just your name and your question, please. Come on ahead.
Hello, my name's Sean, and this is the first time I've heard about this. I'm curious to know a little bit more about the Mo in the Kitchen incident, because it sounds like something out of All Creatures Great and Small.
Roundabout way, I love that one.
Oh, the Mo in the Kitchen. Oh, well, what used to happen? I lived a fair way out of London when we were rehearsing Doctor Who. And so I would drive in every morning.
Always arrive late.
No, I would theoretically leave enough time to get there, but certain things would sometimes happen at home.
Every morning.
I would be no more than 5 minutes late, but occasionally I went 5 minutes late. And of course, once I knew it was annoying Janet, I just wanted to do it more. But there was the incident with the mole was not made up. My cat brought in a mole from the garden through the cat lab and deposited it beside the bookcase. And the mole was perfectly unharmed as far as we could see, but I had to spend some time, obviously catching the mole, who was rather frightened, just stood there in the corner. And so I had to grab the mole and put him in the garden, but not in my garden. So I had to take the mole several gardens down the road and deposit it there so he could dig up their lawn. And so because of this I was considerably late. later than 5 minutes, and I made this excuse, and Janet just laughed as if I'd made it up.
So did Sarah Sutton. We both did.
Yes, but it was too stupid. It was like, you know, I once when I was at school and I was late for physical education, PE, I said, apparently, that the reason I was late was a horse got on my foot, which the games master remembered for years and years and years. So
Funny that.
when we went back for a school reunion, so
I'd like to meet that games master.
I remember when you said a horse trod on your foot. Now, I can't actually remember a horse treading on my foot.
Yeah.
Or indeed there was no horse anywhere near, but I thought it was a good excuse.
See if I just go on 100.
And I will go on, the weirder the excuse, the more likely it is to be true. Anyway,
I hope that answers your question.
that is the mole in the kitchen. There was a mole, it was in the kitchen. I did rescue it and destroy someone else's garden. And was subsequently late for rehearsal. But it didn't matter because I always knew my lines and I knew what the story was about, which was more than the rest of the cast.
I'm worried I'm going to break up a friendship before anything else here. Yes, we have a young Ghostbuster here. So, yeah, you can just take the microphone out. There we go. So, what's your name?
My name's Cohen.
Cool. Lovely. And do you want to give me a question?
What was your favourite line when you were filming Doctor Who?
Good question.
I rather liked Run. So that would happen quite often. We would meet this, I don't know, Dalek or Cyberman, and they'd all look to me and say, "What should we do, Doctor?" And then I would just say, "Run!" And then we'd start running up down the corridors.
Simple, elegant, straight to the point.
And I had another little thing which I quite liked doing, which was we'd obviously get to a junction, and then we'd actually have to be running down one corridor, and I remember that I did this thing where I couldn't make up my mind which corridor to, and I'd start running and I'd just turn around and run the other direction, so they'd all have to turn around and run off.
It's classic comedy.
It's classic silent comedy.
Janet, do you have a favourite line?
I think it's from Legopolis, and
Just
I
on my
can't
phone
remember
notes.
exactly, but it goes something like, "Are you the captain of this ship?"
That's a Beryl Reid.
No, that was to Tom.
Oh, Tom.
Yeah.
Fair enough, there we go. Yeah, all good? No, you're... Aw, thank you for that. That's good manners right there. Very good manners from that Ghostbuster. There we go, let's see, here we have... We gotta get the 13th Doctor in, come on ahead. What's your name, sorry?
Hi, I'm Star. Peter, I'm going to apologise, this may cause a fight. Janet, you've travelled with Peter and Jodie.
Yeah.
Who's the better TARDIS pilot?
Third, Peter, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
Well, as you would expect, a woman would read the instructions
No, that's
and ask for directions. So I don't remember, for instance, ending up in somewhere completely alien, like 500 years before Heathrow was built.
You do know this wasn't real, don't you?
No? I think I won't try
I
that.
mean, that was
Yeah, I think I won't try that.
Ask the question, because you knew what the
Yeah,
answer
do it
was.
yourself.
Because, on the other hand, my favourite companion was...
Jerry was a
No, go on! I would like to end this panel without bloodshed, thank you very much. There we go, we'll get somebody from the band. Get the lovely gentleman there in the red top coming as the 15th Doctor. Very nice!
Oh, fuck off!
Hello, I'm Jamie. Antics or mishaps that happened on the way to or during the recording of a Big Finish audio.
A Big Finish audio?
Yeah.
Well, no. Not
Why don't we
really.
just get on the train, really, and arrive?
Yeah, except Peter used to. When we recorded at Note Studios,
Peter used to do a scene, and he'd throw, as the scene was finished, he'd throw the pages over his shoulder, which meant if you had to go back and do anything, you'd be scrambling around on the floor looking for the scene.
When I finished a scene, I would, rather than just put the scene back in the script, I would throw it up in the air and it would land on the floor. Because it was gone then. I knew the thickness of the paper left on the stand was getting less and less and less. But he did make a bit of a mess, yeah.
And for many years we recorded at Mode Studios. That had to stop during COVID, and then it was a long story. But the guy who owned the studio, had to stop. And but he did the best lunches. Big Finish was famous for its lunches. Peter used to sit in the princess chair. You know that you call them a princess.
I've seen the picture.
The place where he made the food, yes.
In front of blocking the gateway to the food. So we used to try and ensure that he was always scheduled for a scene just before lunch, so that we could get to lunch before he did. And we used to try and bar him from the lunch.
I was the doctor. I had every right to be first in the queue. Of course, when we did COVID, which of course we couldn't go into the studio, which was a great loss. We would then do it from our little studios inside our house.
Oh, it was miserable.
Whenever Janet could make her computer work, which wasn't often.
Okay. I'm not super techie, okay?
Well, you could have read the instructions.
They were written by a man. They were utterly incomprehensible.
How do you know they were written by a man? Because they
You
were
can
instructions.
Thank you for your question.
Sorry, Janet's disappeared into the ether again. Could we hold on? We just have to wait another hour before she goes out and buys another lead to make her computer work. You've got to admit that was true. Mind you, you couldn't hear that because you were cut off from the answer.
I was cut off.
Just before you proceed on, you two like each other, right? This isn't like a love-hate relationship that's going on here, is it?
It's a relationship that's ignited strangely at these events, and it doesn't. It happens in the studio. Actually, it does happen in the studio as well. But outside of that, if we're sitting having lunch together, we're perfectly we're just completely normal.
So off the stage you're absolutely fine. On stage you would just rip into each other.
Well, I would say no. Off stage, I wouldn't say we're absolutely fine. Like in this environment, so we're kind of.
It depends whether Sarah Sutton's there or not.
Yeah, Sarah Sutton keeps us calmer than
and peaceful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I could so leading up to this, for example.
But she's in Guatemala.
In Guatemala?
Yeah.
So next year when we get you back, we'll get Sarah here as like a
yeah, that'd be nice and calm. Yeah. But so leading up to this event, so I'd seen Janet not long ago. Everything was absolutely fine. We were chatting, and then I happened to notice that Janet had put up a video to promote this event on the Facebook page for Capital Sci-Fi Con. And I thought, I can't let this go without having a go at this video. Because we were standing in front of a bookcase.
This was
just
CDs.
Old CDs and a couple of videos. So I stood in front of my bookcase, which actually contained books.
Wallpaper. Wallpaper.
And so then I realised that then we were ramping up to the weekend of conflict and physical violence.
See, he started it. He started it, you've got to admit. He's admitted it himself. He started it.
And on that note, we do have to call it here, I'm afraid, folks. I am sorry for everybody who has questions. We do have another panel tomorrow, so if you are here, what I will do is I will just open up the Q&As right away. That way we can get everybody to get their questions asked tomorrow. Both Janet and Peter, you're here for the entire weekend, is that right?
No.
I'm here for the entire weekend.
That's what I'm asking.
No, she's leaving at lunchtime.
I've got to leave tomorrow about midday because I've got to get back to London to get home because I don't live in London.
That's why we've got to get up early tomorrow morning to come and do a panel at 10:15. Because Janet has to bugger off at
11:15.
Was that a good note to end on?
There we go. So if you do have any
If you
questions,
fancy a lovely Sunday morning argument on the stage, do come along.
there we go. If you do have any questions, feel free to go ask them and get some autographs. But please, here's a big round of applause for him. You see, let me all flustered down. I'll be back on this stage in, thank you for your question, by the way. I'll be back on this stage in 15 minutes for the next panel. Thank you very much, folks.
Fuck you. Fuck you.